devices ready. The ones that you're not using, please switch them off or put on silent. Avoid noisy movements during the course of the interview so that we don't interrupt audio. We'll do as we did 2 weeks ago. I'll only start with the coach and then I'll hand over to you and you'll watch yourself and just relay your questions without me interrupting so that your audio can move nicely. Coach, thank you very much. Coach Zwane, Kaizer Chiefs head coach, joining us. This is a press conference to preview our match at home, FNB Stadium, against Mamelodi Sundowns. We're playing at 20 hours on Saturday. And the tickets are selling very fast. We ask members of the media to reiterate. The outlet is Ticket Pro. So you find it at Spa, at Boxer, at Sasol, and online as well. We encourage media to assist us with that matter. Coach, you are playing Sundowns this week. You are in the preparations, day -2. Give us just a summary of what's going on in the camp and your preparations before we hand over to members of the media.
Yeah, good morning to the members of the media and everyone. We all know it's a big one, it's going to be a tough one. We're playing against a team that is doing very well, current champions, and a team that is on top of the log. So obviously our preparations are as usual in terms of our microcycle. So far so good. The boys have responded positively. They've been working very hard and looking forward to the game.
Please carry on with your first question.
Coach, I'm looking at Sundowns, the way they're on a cruise mode. And if you can look at how they've been playing in their recent game, I mean, they've recently set and took the record that was shared by them and Kaizer Chiefs. At the moment, everything favors them. I mean, they've gone into the 11th game, they're creating new records every day. Then how do you keep your boys focused on such a match, knowing very well that the last time you played, they gave you a heavy score?
It's very, very key on our side to run our race. Always said this, we're running our race, we're taking one game, time. We don't want to focus on Sundowns. Yes, we'll profile Sundowns because we play against Sundowns, but we don't have to put ourselves under pressure and be more worried about Sundowns. We should be worried about ourselves as to how we can maybe rectify the mistakes that we made in the past that have let us down. And I think so far that's where the focus is, and the guys have been doing very well when it comes to it.
Sure, Coach. Daniel from City Press. Coach, what do you make of the view that your team is still lacking leadership on the park, especially when it comes to experience, because everyone is actually looking at the dominance, particularly of academy players on the field, and then they are saying, at last babes won't stand a chance against Sundowns. What do you make of this view? So-called lack of leadership on the park from experienced players, more experienced?
Yeah, look, football is a game of opportunities. We've got our senior players who are not available for this game. We haven't been available due to injuries and unforeseen circumstances, and we had to obviously give the young ones, the young guys, the opportunity, to express themselves and showcase their talents. And some of them, they did grab the opportunity with both hands, and we had to continue where we left off with them. And because at the end of the day, it's about the future of this club, and if we don't, we're not going to give these boys the opportunity to play. When are we going to give them the opportunity? So, as I said, some of them they've done well so far, and because we're thinking about the future of the club, we're also thinking about what we can do in the future. We obviously in the rebuilding phase, we're trying to build a way of playing. You know, as much as the results are fluctuating, but I've seen a lot of positive things that have come out of what we've been doing ever since the beginning of the season. And at some point you pay the price. You know, when you play with the youngsters, you pay the price in terms of the mistakes that they will commit. Obviously, the game is the teacher, and most of them, as you can see, they're improving. And the more they play, the more they gain experience.
Coach, are you, just want to pick your brain on this one, are you surprised that maybe after 15, 16 games into the league, we have a Sundowns team? I talk about Chiefs and Pirates because on paper, these are the teams that are direct competitors to Sundowns in terms of challenging them. Are you surprised to see the points gap, 19-21? What does it say about currently the standard of the PSL, where you have the leaders being so dominant from their rivals?
It talks about the continuity. You know, the continuity is everything in football. When you look at where they come from, you know, how they started building, they also had challenges. They were in a situation where no one saw this thing becoming a beast or something unstoppable, you know. And it's because of the patience that they had and the belief, in the technical team there. And when the head coach left, and then the continuity was there as well. So we as a club, as I said, we're focusing on ourselves. You know, it's not by mistake that they are grinding results week in, week out. You know, but you must have seen they've also created their own luck because of the way they play. You look at the past two games that they've played. When you look at the performance of other teams as well, we're just unfortunate not to score goals. Maybe the game ended in a draw, you know. So that's football for you. You know, you create your own luck, and they've done well so far, and credit should be given to them, you know. So obviously, it's a challenge to us to look at ourselves and do introspection and see where we can improve to challenge them.
Charles Father from the SABC. Coach, football is about the results, and the rebuilding process will take longer than expected. And we're worried about football is a game of results, and the rebuilding process will take longer than expected.
Yeah.
I'm worried about your job and what is your message to the fans, because it's taking a while.
To be quite honest, I'm not worried. I'm not worried because we have a plan as a club, a plan that needs to be executed. And if you look back for how many years we've been trying to hit the ground running, did it work for the club to believe in whoever that they put in there, and also giving the opportunity and space, you know, to try and work things out. And yeah, the results, you can see the results for yourself. You know, I'm not saying I don't want to compare. And I'm not saying we can do exactly what Arsenal is doing, but what I'm just making an example that if we know what we are doing, we have a plan and we want to execute the plan. Obviously, we need time, and you'll also pay the price when it comes to, in terms of, you pay the price with the results. The results will be fluctuating because you're trying to get something going. You want to improve on certain things, and at the end of the day, if you're not going to get it right, someone that's going to come in future, you'll get a team that obviously now can easily, you know, grind results. Why? Because there'll be a way of playing, there'll be identity, there'll also a way of saying whoever that we want from outside, it's easy. The system itself will profile that player. So the system will profile the players, and the coach is going for it. It's not about Zwane, it's not about individuals, it's about the future of this club, you know. So having said that, I'm not worried about myself losing my job, because I knew that when I took over this job, at some point I'm gonna have to, you know, give other people the opportunity. What I didn't know was for how long I'm gonna be, you know, in this position. But at this present moment, you know, I've got a task that I have to fulfill, and I'm doing exactly what the team has asked me, you know, to do.
Coach, Kaizer from the Times. Questions
when it comes to trialists, I've given my technical report, to the management of the club. They'll obviously get back to me, actually to us, the technical staff. So wait for them, because obviously it's a process. And when it comes to new players that are coming in, that will come in future, like I said, we are forever looking for players. We always want to sign quality players that are available. But at the present moment, we want to decide as to whom we think can come and add value, And until then, and yes, we'll take it from there.
Thank you very much, Coach. We're taking the last two. We'll start with you. Your hand has been up.
Coach, you give Arsenal as an example, and when you look at them, I think they've invested in terms of buying players, bringing in players and having that balance between, quality players and youth players. Do you feel that's an element that still lacks here? Is it part of the plan to invest and get, good players to bring that balance in your squad?
As I earlier on, I said, you can't just buy players for the sake of buying players. You first have to build a system and have pillars in place. And then that system itself now will make life easy for us to go and identify the players that we think are good enough, they've got the qualities of coming, and value. Arsenal, that's what they've done. And that is why you can see now their journey becoming, much easier and successful. It's simply because of that. If you look at the team that Arteta started with, yes, there was a lot of youngsters playing with energy and all that. I think he just brought in this season, the beginning of the season, about 3 or 4 players, not 8 or 9 players. So you have to build a structure, you have to build a way of playing, and also have core. That core now will make life easy going forward. And there's no shortcut about it, unfortunately.
Good morning, Coach. Henderson from Sport 24. Just talk us to the magnitude of the Chiefs Sundowns game. Everyone will talk about the derby, that being the biggest game, and understandably so. But on the other hand, when Chiefs or Pirates play Sundowns, a lot of people talk about the quality of the game and the less pressure that comes with it, as compared to the derby.
Most definitely, you can't compare the two. But when it comes to us, we treat all the game with respect. Same, approach. Because at the end of the day, what is at stake? It's 3 points. If it's a cup game, then you have to go next to go through to the next round. But when it comes to Chiefs and Pirates, the history is unbelievable. So I don't think we can compare the two. The derby is at another level.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the issue of a club as big as Chiefs having to bring us in this day and era, that somehow raises questions about the club's scouting network. Why would a club as big as Chiefs go as far as bringing in players on trials instead of profiling them, going to watch them when they're playing and all of that? I mean, is that a route that Chiefs is now taking to be bringing players on trials? Doesn't that raise questions about the club scouting? Because the trends in this day and era, there's so much access about players that you can profile a player without having to bring him on trial here at the club. Why is the club going in that route?
To be honest with you, we are not, conducting trials or doing trials. All the players that you've seen here coming to trial, they are lab. We profile them first, but we wanted to see them closely. We wanted to monitor them closely and be sure about what we're doing. Because a player, you can see him performing, else most of the time right now, when you are giving a footage of the player playing, you may find out that player, the last time he played was 2 seasons ago, but he will show it, as if he's scoring goals right now. So we try and follow that player, and do a proper research about that individual and make sure that as soon as he comes here, we know what we're looking for. Because they only show him scoring goals if he's a striker. They only show him winning, his 1v1 battles in the middle if he's a defensive midfielder. just making that example. But you don't see many other aspects that can, help the player to tick or come and edge them. So those are not the things that we're looking for. And that is why we're taking that route of inviting those players. We are not doing trials. It's a case of we want to assess him, and have a closer look so that we can make a decision. It's best for us right now because we've brought in players in the past that we saw them, that we profile them, but because of Kaizer Chiefs, a different beats. When they come here, when they arrive here, then the pressure, when the pressure mounts, then they can't cope. Then now, when it comes to the club, we suffer again. We have to go out and look for another player. So we're trying to avoid that. We can't repeat the same mistake, many times as if we don't see what is happening. So we're trying to avoid that in actual fact.
Coach, going back to this coming weekend against Sundowns, you look at the Chiefs have conceded 20 goals this season, conceded more than they've scored. Do you still feel that playing a 4-3-3 system where you are playing with full backs remains effective, whereas perhaps going into this match where it will be a high intensity match, perhaps a 3-4-3 with wing backs could work against a team that has proven that they've got technical insurance?
Like any other team, we've got our weaknesses, they've got their weaknesses. And as I alluded earlier on, that when you watch the two last games that they played, they were just unfortunate. When you look at other teams, how they executed themselves, they took the game to them, they were just unfortunate not at least to get a point. And luck is on their side at the moment, but let alone they're also a very good team that is doing very well for themselves, and because you can see that there is chemistry within the squad. You understand what I'm saying? So the focus is not on Sundowns with us. The focus is on us because we've been making mistakes that have been costly, and we're trying to work on that. We're trying to improve on that. And going forward, we can score at any given time. Unfortunately, the last game that we played, we didn't score, but we look at the number of chances that we created. We're just unfortunate not to score. So the focus is on us as Kaizer Chiefs, not on Sundowns.
Go Temba and close with Tshepo.
Good. I'm just tempted to ask you about your bravery. I mean, I saw a Shabalala getting a run, and Bobo getting a run, starting lineup, and often fans will say they want to see young players coming in, and you've done that. I see that the TDC has got your young Mekati, your Fundo Vilagazi. What is your plan when it comes to the integration of the youngsters from across the road into the side, into the main team? What is your plan based on that? I mean, not looking at the results, not forgetting the results, but that you also need to get results. As Zwane and your technical team, where's your space in that? Is there as much hope for the young boys on the other side that they come in then? And what's the time span that you've got for them? And on the second one, just a quick one, it's two boys from the south of Soweto, from the north of Soweto, Mirrorlands and Orlando, who will be playing against each other in such a big match. What does that say about local coaches and the standard of football coaching in terms of mentoring of our former players and of our administrators into coaching? When you look at that this game is one of the biggest games in the calendar, and it's two Soweto boys against each other.
Yeah, I'll start with the integration of players. I think we've done tremendously well, and we'll focus on that because it's very, very, very key for the club, for the fact that the chairman has invested in this project. It is very, very key for us not to neglect. As right now, we pay the price because of neglecting it in the past. So the focus is on that right now, but trying also to strike a balance. And as I said, we've done well so far. Unfortunately, the results have been fluctuating, but I think we're in a position where we can redeem ourselves. And as time goes on, we know that as soon as everything gets well and we gel as a team, then we start grinding results again. But when you look at Duduzi himself, when you look at Mushini, when you look at Zwane, they've done well. They've done well, and as I said, it's a game of opportunities. It's because of some of the senior players, due to injuries, they are unavailable, and now the boys are coming in and doing very well. And also those who be coming from, who are training with us, we're actually very, very close to us and the development. We just, straight across. So we walk across, they walk across. So that's the reason we have the development. Otherwise, we should close the development if you're not going to take advantage, full advantage of using the players. The two coaches, look, it's good for, I don't want to say for Soweto. It's good for South African football. It's good for South Africa at large. It's good for other coaches, young coming coaches who also want to, be in the position that you are in, not knowing how hard it is, to lead, in such a big team. And also, what Coach Zwane is doing a great job with the support that he's getting from Coach Steve and Coach Mamelodi and from the club also. So that is why it is benefiting South African football.
Yeah, speaking from the SABC, coach, other PSL coaches have already considered that it's going to be impossible for other teams to stop, the defending champions. I just need to get your thoughts, to feel or think that other teams can still mount a serious challenge and give Sundowns for a run for their money in the remainder of the season.
Look, as I said, we are running our own race. And I remember saying it's going to go down to the wire that time, because I felt it our chances, like any other coach. And when you look at the coaches who said whatever that they said that the league is gone already, when you look at their teams, where were their teams? They were out, obviously. So it was easy for them to say that. But for me and many and other coaches who stand a good chance of challenging, we couldn't say that. There is no way I can be the head coach of Kaizer Chiefs and give up. Then what do I want? Why do I want to be the head coach of Kaizer Chiefs when I give up so easily? I can't do that. Yes, it looks like Sundowns, they've taken it, but we're still not going to give up. Because this is football. I've seen things happening. I've seen Pirates leading Kaizer Chiefs with 15 points. We went all the way to win the league. Not because of Pirates they did badly, not because of when we lost the league to Sundowns with 13 points, leading the league, Chiefs was bad at that time, but because of things they do happen. So I can't give up, and I'm not putting ourselves under pressure. And I'm not saying again we're going to win the league. All I'm saying was that time, I had to say that as the head coach of Kaizer Chiefs, that whoever that was talking was in the position number 15. And us, we were in the position, with that time, we were position 4. And when you look at the points gap, was 10 points that time. So we still a good chance of competing. And for that matter, we are Kaizer Chiefs. We play to win every game. Unfortunately, the results have been fluctuating.
Coach Zwane, thank you very much. Members of the media, thank you. Enjoyed by the players. Thank you very much.